There's a certain kind of silence that lives behind the eyes of someone who doesn't feel real. They'll be sitting across from you, nodding, smiling, maybe even laughing, and yet, behind that expression, something is flickering. The world has gone flat, the colors feel wrong, everything is happening, but somehow they're not in it. That's derealization. A word clinical enough to sound sterile, but the experience is anything but. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world looks exactly the same, but stripped of all its gravity, like a movie you've seen 1,000 times but can't remember acting in. Derealization is a defense mechanism gone rogue. It's the mind's emergency exit, a way of saying, this is too much, I'm checking out for a bit. When trauma, chronic anxiety, or prolonged stress overwhelm the nervous system, the brain does what it does best. It protects you, even if it means disconnecting you from the world you live in. Think of it as the body pulling the fire alarm, except the building isn't burning. You just feel like it is. A psychologist would call it an existential fragmentation, the self trying to retreat from unbearable complexity. But the truth is darker and simpler. Derealization is what happens when reality stops feeling safe. You can't be fully in a world that keeps hurting you. So the psyche, ever resourceful, pulls the plug. You're still here but behind glass, present but distant, watching yourself move through the day like a poorly rendered video game. Clinically, this falls under the dissociative spectrum. It's the nervous system's attempt to numb perception when fight or flight fails. When escape isn't possible, the next best thing is disconnection. The mind doesn't just detach from trauma, it detaches from everything. What's fascinating and tragic is how ordinary it can look. You won't see someone screaming or breaking down. You'll see someone doing the dishes, attending meetings, scrolling their phone, but internally they're suspended in fog. They might describe it as living underwater, or like watching life through a window. It's not madness, it's the mind's way of staying sane in a world that keeps trying to drown it. The irony is that the more you try to force reality to feel real again, the less it does. The fear of being unreal becomes its own loop. The harder you panic, the more distant the world feels. It's a self-reinforcing paradox. The psyche's equivalent of quicksand. Most people who experience this aren't weak or broken. They're often the ones who've spent years keeping it together. The strong ones, the ones who've had to be fine for too long. Derealization is the bill that comes due when your nervous system finally says, enough. The world, in its cynical brilliance, mistakes this detachment for calm. You're so composed, they'll say. But inside, it's not peace, it's vacancy. The absence of chaos, not the presence of serenity. The recovery? It isn't glamorous, it's slow, it's grounding, literally. Feeling your feet, tasting your coffee, naming what you see. It's the boring, sacred work of coming back into your body. You can't think your way out of derealization. You have to feel your way out. If we get a little philosophical, it's about reclaiming embodiment, about learning that the world isn't supposed to always make sense. It's not meant to be hyper-real or spiritually pristine. It's messy, flawed, terrifying, and that's what makes it real. The mind attaches to protect itself from pain, but it forgets that pain is proof of life. Feeling real isn't about being safe. It's about being here, even when here hurts. So when someone says they don't feel real, don't tell them to snap out of it. Tell them it's okay to be tired, that sometimes the soul just needs a minute to catch up to the body, because maybe the problem isn't that they've lost touch with reality, maybe it's that they've been living in one that never felt like home.